Hello, my name is Megan Smith, and I decided to do my midterm project on the ancient city of Rome. The ancient city of Rome was known for many things. The reason I decided to do my midterm project on Rome is because I think Rome is a very beautiful and interesting place to hear about. From their buildings to their sculptures, all of it is just incredible. Rome was also known for very many things, and I'm going to tell you about many of them and hope to teach you a few things as well. In the 8th century BC, ancient Rome grew from a small town on one of Italy's rivers. This river was called Tiber River. Rome eventually grew into an empire after being a republic for over 450 years. Augustus was Rome's first emperor, transforming Rome from republic to empire. Augustus never claimed the title of first emperor. He combined military might, institution building, and lawmaking to become Rome's sole ruler. Augustus was born 20 miles from Rome. His father was a senator as well as a governor in the Roman Republic. Throughout Augustus's life, he had 3 names. His name when he was born was Octavius. After his adoption, he was named Octavian. Augustus began taking on responsibilities through his family's connection at age 16. Many people today could not even imagine taking on such a huge responsibility at just age 16. During Augustus's 40-year reign, he nearly doubled the size of the empire. Augustus died in AD 14. His empire was secured and at peace. The empire he founded lasted for nearly 1,500 years. Religion was a very important role in ancient Romans' lives. Romans' religion was centered around gods. How Romans believed were the gods controlled their lives, so they had very much respect for them and worshipped them a lot. Some of the gods they had were Mars, which was the god of war, Mercury, the messenger of the gods, Neptune, the god of the sea, Janus, the god of doorway, Diana, the goddess of hunting, Vesta, goddess of the earth, Minerva, goddess of healing and wisdom, Venus, the goddess of love, Jupiter, the king of the gods, and Juno, the goddess of the sky. Obviously, all of their gods were very important to them, but the most important one of all was Jupiter. The Roman Empire had many temples throughout it. These temples were used to go and worship their gods. Along with the temples, each family would have a small altar and shrine in their homes where they would have worship every single day. They took their religion so seriously, they would even invite their slaves to worship with them every day. Each god had their own holiday. On these holidays, the Romans would go to the temple to whichever god was being celebrated and offer sacrificed animals to the gods to show their respect. Here's a picture of one of the temples that was located in ancient Rome. Ancient Rome was very famous for their architecture. Ancient Romans created a new architectural lifestyle. Roman architecture flourished throughout the empire during the Pax Romana, or also known as Pax Augusta. They believed that public buildings should be made to impress. The practical Roman designers combined the use of concrete with another extremely important architectural development. A large number of amphitheaters were built throughout the empire because it was official policy that the state should provide entertainment for the public. An important building the Romans built was the Pantheon. The Pantheon was built between 118 and 125 CE. This building was a large circular temple dedicated to all of their gods. Still today, the Pantheon is very well preserved. The Pantheon was the largest dome until the 20th century. There was also a very famous wall built in order to mark the limits of the empire. This wall was called the Hadrian Wall. The wall ran from coast to coast as a length of 73 miles. Still today, Roman's influence can be seen on many buildings. Some banks, government buildings, houses, and many other buildings have the same type of structure and look as ancient Rome did. Here's some pictures of some of their architecture. As we know, Romans adopted many things from the Greeks. Romans music, however, was much different than Greek music. Roman music was very loud and aggressive. Roman music was featured in open-air games, festival parades, military attacks, funerals, dinner parties, plays, and many more things as well. The Romans had very many musical instruments. Some of the musical instruments were the bagpipe, the bugle, double flute, tuba, and also many more. There are actually surviving instruments from the Roman times. People today can tell how their music was played and what they like to listen to by the sound that the remaining instruments make. During 27 BCE, sculptures had a dramatic change in their style. The Romans used things like stone, precious metal, glass, and terracotta for their sculptures. For the very important and favorite sculptures, they would use bronze and metal. Many Roman sculptures were of emperors, gods, and heroes. Two very famous sculptures that you can also see in your textbooks were Augustus of Prima Porta and Head of Caracalla. The sculpture of Augustus of Prima Porta was made of marble. This sculpture was 6 feet and 8 inches tall. The head of Caracalla was also made of marble. This sculpture is only 13.5 inches tall. It is still located in museums for people to see. Here are some of the sculptures from the ancient Rome's times. Today, I would say Rome has most definitely changed. In today's world, they do not believe in as many gods as they did back in the day. Many of them believe in Jesus Christ now, and just like anywhere else in the world, they believe in different things. The one thing that I would say has kind of stayed the same is the buildings. A lot of the buildings and monuments built in ancient Rome are still here. The buildings actually have similar designs to the ones in ancient Rome, but they are obviously more modern. Overall, I believe Rome was and still is a beautiful place.